How's this for a string theory? You remember how Einstein was talking about how everything's just energy that equals matter and squares and all that stuff, you know? So then you also can think about quantum physics and how at the most fundamental particle level, everything's just a vibration until it gets condensed into matter and solidified. And so then you can think about how, you know, the singularity of this universe, when they rewind the Big Bang, everything mathematically goes back into this most condensed piece of matter, because everything's on the spectrum of energy to matter, you know? And so that's what Einstein, you know, it's all the same. You can convert energy into matter. It's all in this whole spectrum. Everything was at once, this most condensed of everything. Think of it like this knot that's made up of these big ropes that are just twisted up, smaller ropes that are just twisted up twine, that are just twisted up all the way. You untwist this rope all the way, unbraid it all, and then it's just down to these tiniest little scraps of thread, these tiniest little strings, these tiniest little vibrations, these tiniest little simple sine waves of the most fundamental vibration, all tied together into this most tightly wound knot that could possibly ever be tied. And then all that just exploded out into this most frayed creation, you know? So it was the most solidified matter. Everything's on a spectrum from just energy to matter, from vibration to matter. And then so it's just exploded out into the most separated, most fundamental strings, most fundamental vibrations, down to the tiniest thread, exploded out into hydrogen. And so then it was all just hydrogen everywhere, this most fundamental element, the most fundamental vibration, and then it all came back in together, and then these strings, you know, they kind of tie themselves together a little bit, you know, and so then they get a little bit tighter, and then you explode that back out to hydrogen and helium, and so now you got, it's just these threads of energy that exploded from this initial singularity of matter that then are all separated out and come back together, and the threads get a little bit tighter. You know, you have all these little twisted threads, and you throw them out and bring them back together. Some of them get wound up a little tighter, wound up into a more complex wave. Instead of a sine wave, now it's a sawtooth wave. It's got some more complexity to it. It's more dense. It's not as just most fundamental vibration. And so then it keeps doing that, coming in and out and getting more dense, and it's like iron, dense like the earth, dense like you and me. And now we're just, you have this vast array of complex vibrations, because it's just all these little strings that have come through and make all these little ropes, as the entire universe is re-knotting itself back into this most complex, most woven rope of all of these strings, of all of vibrations, of all of creation. We can hear these frequencies, we can step on these, we can see these. Good vibes, man.